Good afternoon. Today is February 28th. I'm here with Susan Hudd. She has been really an outstanding psychic that we have on her. We have her on my show for the past few months. Welcome, Susan.
Good evening to you.
How are you today?
I've been very well, been very busy, had a lot of work going on, and this is a very exciting period we're about to go into, and especially for all you crypto guys and girls out there. This is where we're actually going to start seeing some profit now in the future, and so we're going to be ready for some excitement. Good evening, and I will give you as many tips as I possibly can about good coins for you to have, particularly during this month of March. The energy suits them, and so I'm expecting some excitement for these particular coins that I'm going to be talking to you about, as well as your questions.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. Originally, I think last month you predicted that there will be a crash for March 6th to 8th. Do you still see that?
I do see them going through a difficult period during that time. I think the hardest day for most cryptocurrencies are going to be on the 3rd, because as everybody keeps reminding me, everything that happens to Bitcoin will actually affect all other coins during that period in time. But I'm saying to you now, hang on, hold your nerve, because it's all about rumors and gossip during that time. It's how we can break down the crypto world, because the fiat currency and the dollar is going to have the most challenging and difficult week possibly of their existence. It's going to be very difficult for them. So hold things here together and know that crypto is the way forward and will be the way forward. And everything is going to change for you guys this month.
Okay, so on the 3rd, a challenging day for the market. Can you provide a little more detail, talk about like a big drop?
Yes, I do see a big drop. It's what I call the beginning of the end. So nothing is going to come back to normal with the fiat currency and the dollar from this moment onwards. It's a downhill for the rest of the month. So it is going to affect the stock market, and the value of the dollar is particularly going to be getting to as near to a bottom out as it possibly has been for a very long time. The financial system is literally thrown up in the air, and that's why crypto is particularly going to do well. People are looking for a safety net and something that they're going to have confidence in. But you have to remember the government is going to be working overtime with the rules and regulations and the way that they can disrupt the cryptocurrency. So this is why I'm saying this week in particular, you need to hold your nerve. You need to be very strong, very confident, and believe that your cryptocurrency is the way forward. New faces, new people need to get into this, and they'll be desperate to, and they're looking to invest their money in different places. Look what's been going on around the world with the banks closing, no money left in it, and lots of gossip and rumors going on about the normal banking system. So people now have completely lost their faith in ordinary banking. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be looking for an easy way into crypto. So it's very important that everybody is ready to take on newbies. So everything's got to be broken down in very small pieces so that they can completely understand it. Because the government is going to be saying that crypto is not a safe environment. And they're going to be spreading that out, and they're going to be saying you need to keep your money in the banks because people are now drawing their money out and ready to invest in crypto. So they're looking for exciting names. They're looking for fast energy, cheap, so that they can invest quickly and see profits and that in days. And this is the perfect month for them to start jumping on board. We've got 2 months of this. We've got March and April time, but the most exciting is actually going to be March, because everything and anything is possible during this time through all sorts of currencies. And it doesn't matter about all the negative news and that everybody's getting about wars and things like that. It's all to do with fake news, gossip, trying to bring down the currencies. So this is why you've got to stand together, be strong, and be very wary that I keep warning you all about the government cryptocurrencies that are coming out now. And you will start hearing about it during this month. So just be very cautious in their rules and regulations of how they want to control your world.
So that's very interesting to talk about fake news. So I'll get back to that. So last month the market plunged. I mean, it dropped a lot. It dropped down to like 32.3 or $32.4 thousand for Bitcoin. Do you see that Bitcoin would drop as much as last month?
Possibly, yes. Yeah, probably even a little bit more. And so I think that what they've got to do is try and survive over the next few weeks. This month is going to be particularly challenging and that for them. And this week in particular is going to be a very tough week. So like I said, the government is going to be, all governments are going to be completely focusing on Bitcoin. Of all the cryptocurrencies, it will be Bitcoin that they're trying to get their teeth into, trying to steer you away from it. But if they can survive and hang on during this month, which will be a very challenging month for them to survive, then when everybody else is having a much more challenging time, which is going to be the month of May, which is going to be far more challenging, then you're going to find those that hung on to their Bitcoins will end up having probably a month that they'll never stop celebrating about. It's going to be a surprise turnaround. And even though, first of all, even last month, I didn't honestly believe that they would last this month. And I thought it was going to be such a bad month for them. And I've had a full evening of meditation and concentrating on particularly what's going to be happening and what's going on with them. And I was so surprised when just before the end, they said, watch out for May. And I said, yes, you've already warned me about May, all the challenges that are going to go on. And they said, watch for the sudden turnaround in Bitcoin during that time when nobody's really keeping an eye on it, when everybody's thinking, well, it's never going to be as good as what it is. They could have an absolutely storming month during that time. And so we're just going to see how far they're prepared to fight, or how many times they're prepared to stand up to governments and say, you know, what you're doing is just propaganda. It's just trying to bring down the cryptocurrency, and we're not going to have it. So it's up to you guys to all stand together to back the coins that you've really got, the ones that you believe in yourself, and stand by them. So hang on to it and ride the storm and see where the storm takes you. But do I see it dropping more than it did in February? Yes, I do. And I'll be very surprised if it doesn't do it in the next week. So this could be a crazy, crazy journey for it. But then it's got between the 8th and the 16th and that, then everything starts smiling once more again. Then all of a sudden the energy starts lifting up, and all currencies and that cryptocurrencies are going to start coming back to life in a big way. You've, like I said before, you've got some exciting ones, you know, that you're all, and I know many people and that have got most of these coins that I'm going to be talking about in a minute. I don't know if many people have got HBAR, but that's one that's coming in that's going to be going to do really well this month. And we've also got World that's going to be doing really well this month. And we've got XLM, which are ones that I've been given here that have said that they're going to be doing particularly well. And I know you're all waiting for me to say Shiba's going to be doing well. That's really going to have a spectacular month. People are really going to get on board with that. Masculine and feminine energies are really going to enjoy it. And remember, this is a month that we should be celebrating, having fun. We're bringing ourselves out of the winter. We're changing into an uplifting time. And because that's going to excite us now, it is going to mean that our energies are going to be looking at things in a much more positive way. And please don't turn around and say to me, Bitcoin's not doing so well, so we're all bound to be ready for another crash or another difficult time, because this month you have to expect the unexpected. The market itself is going to change itself around, and there's going to be new forced energy, and not everything is going to be working alongside the way that Bitcoin and it's always worked with the currencies and that before. You have to be ready now for an exciting new pathway where coins stand up on their own merits now and become now a star in the making in the near future. It's going to be names now that really succeed this month are the ones we're going to be talking about over the next couple of years. So they're going to be the big boys, what I call it, on the list of successes. So have faith in the ones that you've chosen, the ones that you've stuck with up until now. Have faith in that and be ready now for this exciting journey where they will start growing and growing pretty fastly as well. And there are going to be ones that are going to be up around the $30, $40, even as soon as this month. By the time this month ends itself, it will be like that. And I think that HBAR is going to be one of those ones as well that really surprise people. And I've no idea what they're in now, because I keep flashing and keep seeing noughts and things like that. So I know it can't be hugely, a massive amount in with them, but I do believe that it will be up there in one of the surprising turnarounds that do come up by the end of this month. And I think once we get going and things start really moving forward, and I think particularly around the middle part of this month, we have to be looking at how successful our coins are during the middle part of March. They'll still be like it at the end of April time. And this is where just growth continues and that for quite some time. So be ready for an injection of energy into your coins now. And let's start making some serious money now. Let's show the world how this year is going to be, that if they're not in it now, they're not going to get the opportunity to get the deals and the bargains that you guys have already got. So remember that.
So the whole month of March, the market will have a rally except from the 3rd to the 8th?
Yes, and I just think that the energies and that could be cross-wiring itself, and we could be then looking at things and that being quite challenging and difficult. But I absolutely know with the energies that I've been working with that it's much more to do with the ordinary banking system, and that's where the shock waves and that are going to be coming through, and not so much the cryptocurrency. I think the cryptocurrency is what we call now the lifeline. It's going to be the bit of knowledge and information that people say, I cannot understand how we haven't looked into this before and why we're not jumping on board. So this is the time everybody that's involved in this, you've got to start selling yourself. You've got to make your website be the one that stands out. All the newbies need to see that you're the person who can help them to success in the future. And maybe this is where this Jazara energy comes in. It's showing us the energy to say that good things come from small investments, or big profits come from small investments, but it's already going to get that buzz of people feeling that they've got more by the end of March than they've had for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Then can you talk a little bit about April?
Well, April, it comes with spiritual gifts. So all the financial security and that will help for your wellness in life, not only your physical wellness, but help you on your spiritual journey. This is not just about your gut intuition telling you that you've got yourself involved into something that's really good now. It's where all your senses and that will be opened up and they will be charged to the maximum. So it's not now that we're in the 5th dimension. A lot of people will be reaching then into the 6th and even the 7th dimension and working with that energy and getting far more accurate information. So people will be having dreams about currencies, all sorts of currencies and banking. People will be obsessed with talking about money and their well-being and their plans and their projects and all the things that they're going to be doing in the near future. And that's why I believe that this Jazara energy is already coming in for people. so that they can then invest in spiritually improving themselves and making this world a much more peaceful place and a wonderful place for us to actually live in, because it's about the good there being given to everybody, and everybody has some improvements or good things in their life. So it's time to do the jobs that you love to do and the projects that you want to be involved in, and actually choosing the currencies and that really resonate with you, so that you feel very happy and contented about the energies that you're working with. And what good deeds are you going to help out other people with? Are you going to help yourself out? Are you going to help family members out? Whatever there is, there'll be plenty enough for you around to be able to spread out that positivity and that good energy. And people will be saying, well, how have you done it? And you'll be going, well, I've had the best 2 months of my life with my cryptocurrency. It's really changed me, and it's made me have more faith and confidence in it. And I don't know why a lot of people in the crypto world seem to be losing faith or not having the same positivity that they would have had even in periods during last year. Because when you do something and you understand something, you should get more confident with it and believe that there's always a turning point when things get more positive or get better in the future. And that's actually what's going to be happening now. This is going to be the next couple of months that will impress you. And you will be talking about it and trying to get all your friends involved in it. And you'll be saying, don't wait any longer, don't wait. And it's going to be the words you're going to be using all the time. Do it now, even if you only got a small little bit that you can afford to invest in now, and do it now. And it'll be down to you guys to lead them into the right ones. Because whenever there's spare money around, there's always going to be people that want to take it away from them. So you have to be the guys that really come out with your confidence and say, this is a good coin for beginners, and explain to them why that it would actually be good for them to get involved in it. And sometimes it's because it's not very complicated, it's just straightforward. So the more that you can do those things, and then the more people are going to join your groups, and it's just about expansion
Susan,
knowledge.
I'm curious about Bitcoin.
Yes.
So does Bitcoin or the market will have any crash from the middle of April until the end of April?
Right. They will struggle during March time. And then April time, what they will do is they will start balancing their energies out a bit more. So it's what I call the sideways, that things will move up one day and then they'll ease back again the next day. And you'll be thinking, well, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's in this stagnant period. And like I said, everything else is still going to have that energy where it's going to still be moving forward. Like I said, March turns it all on its head. Everything is turned on its head. The rules that have always gone on in the past are not going to go on during the month of March. This is where the first biggest change that the crypto world would have had, where everybody can stand as an independent coin and do things in their own way. So we're looking for the strong, stable coins and that to really show that they can take over the world, or that they can be up there. If you ever want to be in the #1 position, this will be your opportunity to really fight to get in that position now. So by making sure your company is fresh and exciting, it pleases all people, the people that like intensity, like things here to be great in depth, and the people that just want to begin their journey and just are fascinated with the things that you do. Everybody's in a much more of a playful mood. So they're fed up with things here being serious. And, you know, and we all need that lightheartedness, and March is going to bring that. So April brings us grounding ourselves of saying, oh, you know, are our dreams too big? And Spirit always say your dreams are never too big. They got to be really big. And this is a time now where it's really important that they're big. So your projects, your adventures and that must help more people. It must be about employing people, sharing things with people. We need to come back as a community. April will give us a community, and March will give us a time where we'll be able to earn money to be able to put into those communities and make our own communities better, happier, with a lot more peacefulness and spiritual knowledge during April. So April is the spiritual reward, which we want to give back to the world. And March is saying, well, let's take on our rewards. So when you've got a nice little bit of profit there, then take it off, put it to one side. Don't put yourself in any awkward positions and that, because we've obviously got lots of different planetary changes and things that are going to come in, but we don't want to get ourselves tied into what everybody else is telling us that this is what's going to happen during this time. We want it to be about how we feel things are going to change. And are you ready for changes? You ought to be, because to be honest, we've had a terrible couple of years and a journey that we've all gone on. So we now want them to be much more uplifting. We want to get back that confidence in the world once more again. And this next 2 months is going to give us that. So play it by ear, follow that gut intuition. And sometimes you have to take a bit of a risk just to get that thrill and excitement back in your energy. So it's what I call the perfectionist month. Those of you that are perfectionists will absolutely adore this month. Maybe it's because you don't mind being on the edge, or you don't mind not actually knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. But the only really rough days, or it's going to feel like rough days, and like I said, and that's through propaganda, a lot of unnecessary gossip. People will always listen to things because they think, because it's said on the telly, then it must be right. When actually the last place I would listen to is anything that's going to be happening or happening on the telly. And you will find even in the main news, they'll be talking about Bitcoin or wanting to talk about Bitcoin. That's because they don't want the people drawing their money from the banks to invest in it. And people need to get involved in cryptocurrency if they're looking for a safe and secure future, because that's what it's going to become. And we've got now at least the next decade where the crypto world is going to be the most exciting place to be involved in. And like I said, we've got coins coming out of our ears this year. Every month there's going to be brand new coins. The list will be getting longer and longer. And I've no idea how many coins there are now, but there's going to be a lot more in the future. And to be honest, I don't want to know how many coins. I have enough here in front of me now that I've jotted down to say good coins to talk about. So
yeah, there's a lot of coin. I think roughly about 14,000 and counting.
Is there?
So yes, but I need to ask you very important questions. So you keep talking about that if we have profit, take profit. So between March and April, do you know which date we should take profit?
Well, the whole time you were talking then, they were giving me the number 16. So I think the 16th would be a really good time to take some profit, even though I still believe that profit's going to be continuing on anyway, right up until the end of the month. But before you even finish the question, I've just been given the 16th. So there's something here particularly exciting that's going to happen between the 8th and the 16th that's going to make it a brilliant time here to take some profit off. Put things to one side, particularly if you're looking to buy a house or you're looking to have some big expenditure, start a business, because we're going into the new businesses and the new opportunities. And those opportunities will be able to manifest even as soon as April time. So I do see some good money that's going to be being offered around during that time. So expect nice prices during that time.
So the 16th of March, take
Yes.
profit. How about what's going on in April? Is the market going higher than March?
I think during around that 16th, there's going to be, I wouldn't say a peak, there's going to be a surge that comes in just before that. And I think that that's going to be the most exciting time. I think people then will just, and I think it's like anything, when all of a sudden it goes from, a few dollars to all of a sudden being right up there, and you're going, oh my goodness me, this has never been this high before. Remember, this is a month of records, so a lot of coins will do better than they've ever done before, and it's the start of it. And it's the start of looking at crypto in a completely different light. So I believe that it will happen during that time. And there's going to be several that are going to be up there around $30 or $40. And at this moment in time that they would be very small. So we're only looking at $2 or $3 at this moment, and then it will increase itself and get up there. But I do see April as being still that gradual growth. So each day it's got a little bit more. You haven't got the big crashes down or the real shocks that come in during that time. And I think everybody will have a little bit of sweetness during that time. This is where we're sorting out the good coins now. The ones that are going to be mega strong throughout most of this year are going to be the ones that really get strong during this month of March. At least then you'll know where you're edging your bets or which side to go down and say, well, these are the coins here that are going to be really exciting during that time. And so it's going to make it all pretty obvious. And if they're not really going to do anything too much this year, you'll find between the 3rd and the 8th that that's where they're going to have a dodgy ride. And you'll be going, well, I'm not making anything. So this is going to be in my box that I'm going to trade later on. When I'm looking to trade something, it'll be those that have hardly moved anything, that you'll be only looking at a few cents or maybe a couple of dollars. You won't be looking at very much. There is still profit still there to be made, but not really much. It's what I say, sticking to the old school way of only expecting a few cents each week profit. But we're now going into big money profit. We're looking now at saying our coins have actually got great value. And that's what you'll be looking at now. It's a whole new game, totally a new game. And as this is the year of the games, where we're going to play games, we're going to be jumping here, pouncing there, having this excitement. So you've got all of those things still to come.
Yeah. Then what is the lowest day in April for Bitcoin?
I think the lowest day will probably be the 3rd or the 4th of March.
No. I'm talking about April.
April, the lowest in April. Let's just scan through the first week. So I think the second week we would be looking at, that will be the lowest that it will be during April. April's on the whole, like I said, it's got good energy throughout most days. I want to give you, I'm actually going to give you 2 dates. I'm going to give you the 9th and the 11th, and that during April time. And I think that's probably the lowest that Bitcoin will be during that time. I think the best day then I would be expecting for them, I think it will be round about the 28th, 29th. I think it's going to be right at the very end of the month. And they're going to have some very pleasing days, because I think as soon as they step into May, if they're still strong and people are still talking about it and nobody has taken the top spot and that off of them, I think May is going to shock them to pieces. I think they are going to reach heights and that, and there's going to be this new stimulated energy that comes in around them. So that's going to make me look a plonker, isn't it, from before, thinking that they'll be done and dusted and that, and they're going to be sort of taken out of the market. This is an opportunity of a new beginning that comes in for them, and a breath of fresh air that's going to come back to the world. And all those people that haven't got much knowledge, they're going to be saying, well, do you know, I've got big pensions coming out now. I've got new finances come out. I can afford to go for something big. And it's better to have one big thing, in their opinion, than it is to have lots of small ones and then start thinking to themselves, well, now I have to keep an eye on that market. So this is why I keep saying this is a changing month at the way that we look at coins and the way that we look at our investments for the future. But the crypto world is going to be the future, and that's a certainty. I haven't got any doubts about that whatsoever. I can see this market just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I agree with that. So earlier you mentioned May. So are you referring to May the market will be bigger than, higher than April and March?
I think possibly for Bitcoin, I think whatever has woken them up, whatever heads that they pulled together, whatever turning point that they've actually made, that latter end of April time, they're going to have an extraordinary, crazy May time that they really are. And people will be talking about them earning, well, 4 or 5 times more than they've actually earned this year so far. So they've got some big turnarounds, and it's going back to what I say. And I honestly have no idea what they are now. And I've honestly got no idea what they've ever been in the past. So I believe that their records and that will probably, as long as they don't crash out during this month of March, then I think May time is going to bring in huge, massive profits and that for them. And it could get them fighting back for their position. There's something here. So there must be a lot of perfectionists in the company that are trying to really get this going. So yes, they'll override the rumors and the gossips and the fake news and that's being said for trying to convince people not to invest in their coins. And this could be for them the most exciting month of the whole year, probably of their whole careers, their whole lives during that period. So it could be a one-off period of saying, make the most of it. If you don't make the most of it, you'll still go on that bumpy journey where it's going to be very much more up and down throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. So earlier you mentioned a few coins that will do well in March. You said HBAR. How do you spell that coin?
Sorry, HBAR. Did I say T-bar?
Yes. Okay.
It's only because I got a necklace, and I tell you, I'm so weird. I've got a T-bar and necklace, and I keep getting it in my head, but I actually saw HBAR.
Okay, that's awesome.
So HBAR, so that's going to be one, and that's going to have a particularly exciting month. So I do expect people that have invested in HBAR to have a very exciting time, and World will have a very exciting time. You got Shiba and they got Tira that are going to have a really great month in March, really exciting. And you've got the normal ones here that a lot of people asked about. Digibyte's going to have, actually, I think they're going to have a perfect, almost perfect next couple of months. I think the next couple of months, they're going to think, in their opinion, is going to be absolutely perfect. You got Cardano that's going to have an extraordinary month. And I know a lot of you are waiting for me to see if it's on my list here that I've got here. Of course, I've got Star Atlas on there, and Sandbox and that I've got on there, and Matic, of course. Yes, you're up there and you're going to be up there, and you're particularly going to have a great month. So if you've got any of those coins, and I know there's quite a few other ones that are going to do really well and that through this month, so that you've got a lot of ones that are sort of what I call a little bit out on the clouds. They're not the main ones that people talk about, and that are going to really start sort of building up. So I don't know if you've heard of XLM.
Yes, it's very popular among this community. XLM is very popular.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good one. So people will be really pleased that they've got that. I think that's going to be a little bit more later in March before that one really shines during that time. So I would be looking again, anything here around about the 18th or the 20th. And I think right up until the end of the month, I think that one there's going to do particularly well. And that could double, even treble in price. Like I said, again, I'm not sure what it is at this moment.
Oh, right now it's 18 cents. Right now it's 18 cents. Double, triple the price is almost $1.
Right. Okay. So I think it's going to be at least, I think it's going to be at least up there by the end of this month, by the end of March, not February, by the end of March. I keep thinking we're already in March. So by the end of March, that could be there. And you could find even the same growth in April time, because it's got a very much more spiritual energy. So I think people that are very much more drawn to that are very much more on the spiritual side, and have got a lot of good ideas and a lot of things that they want to do with life. And that's what's going to do, one of the ones that's going to do particularly well during that time. So we've got a lot of exciting things here that are going to be happening for people. That a lot of people that have been really struggling this year so far with their cryptocurrency, all of a sudden this month is going to make up for everything. So just remember that the market is going to seem crazy because the jumps are going to be leaps and not just crawls along. And that excitement, then people are not going to want it to go back to normal where it just creeps up each day. So if you're somebody who does graphs, I'd be ready to have a record-breaking line, and I would expect all of those coins to break their own personal records. And certainly by the end of April, they would have all, not just some of them, all broken their own records. So the most they've ever done in their journey so far to date. So they're what I call the solid team that I'm picking from my A team for this month to show you all that you've invested in some great currencies now.
Mm-hmm. Then if XLM will do well, will XRP will do well this month too?
Yes, they would do well. There's some hesitation and that I've got a little bit around the hesitation, and that's just because of the government energy. So the government energy that is being taught. The trouble is when any government member starts talking about a particular currency, people will all of a sudden begin to lose faith in it, or they'll start easing back and thinking, do I want to be involved in it? Because if the government's recommending it, then it's making me much more nervous. And people, because of the banking system, are going to feel nervous about what's coming up now in the future. And they won't have any faith in anybody that the government starts talking about. So I would be very nervous if the government starts talking about any of the guys and girls that we've been talking about now, because if they do, they're going to put a dampener on the energy. And then we're going to have to wait until into June when we're in the rebuilding of everything all over again. And I said I wasn't going to talk about months and months down the road. Said I was going to try to keep the impact and that. So it was all about this month, because this month is so thrilling and will be exciting so for you. So think of your dreams and think about what you're going to do with your new investments and what you're going to be investing in for the future, and how many people are going to benefit from your great thrills that you're going to have this month and next month, but this month in particular, because you're all going to wake up, you're all going to be rushing to your computer because you're going to be wanting to know what your coins have made this day. And did it make more than yesterday? And the answer for that, apart from the first couple of days in this week, you're going to be saying yes to yourself every single day. Oh, well, this has got better. This is why I'm glad I invested in it. So this is...
That's awesome. So if anyone who haven't bought anything sort of like the last week, they need to buy is between the 3rd and the 8th of this month of March?
Yes. Okay. Yes. That will be the best bargains and that for them to be able to get in, so that they will feel very quickly that they've got a bargain. Yeah, it will be a time that people will want to go shopping, as I would say. You know, they would want to buy anything that's around, because like I said, as soon as you see any slight little bit of movement in it, you know those that are moving are going to be moving very fast. And as this is a very leapy month, a very, jumping here, there and everywhere, they will be very surprised. And then all you'll hear is all the conversations, people saying, oh my God, I've made this month. I've never made that much ever. In all my years in a bank, I've never made anything like that. And you'll already get that energy. But it's going to put you all in very much more a business frame of mind. And this whole month, whether we're talking about the dollar crashing or falling down and seeing devaluations of banks and not being able to get hold of much money, this is definitely going to be a month of cash as well. People will be very glad that they've got cash in hand. And that's going to be something for everybody we need to have for the future. Bit of cash. Gold and silver are breaking barriers this month as well. So both of them, I don't think silver will hit their height, but they're certainly going to move up quite a bit. So gold and silver will also put a smile on everybody's face this month. And gold is already beginning to increase. And I can only tell that. And like I said, I can only go what I get given. And that's just because my shoulders are being pulled up by spirit. So when I feel this sort of like somebody's pulling me up, I know they're already on the up. So I hope that gold is beginning to do okay already. And they've got a lot more still to come. I'm not sure whether they will hit their peak, but they will be sort of around the 2000 or then I keep getting 99. So they will be sort of around the 2000 and over. I've no idea what gold is, like I said now, at all. It's just a figure that's just flashed in front of me. So I think that's how it's going to start off the month. But I think they'll end the month a much, much higher during that time. And it will definitely be starting off with a 3. So I think the base 3 per ounce, so 3,000 per ounce, and that is very much more likely. And gold seem to be getting that little bit of freedom. We're all waiting for silver to start really hitting great prices. I still think silver's got a little bit of way to go, but through the currencies and that will be crashing during that time with the normal banking time and the stock share market, and that's going to have a very rough journey, and this week in particular. So it's going to get from bad to worse with your stocks and shares and that. And this is why there'll be different salvage packages that come into it. And I don't know why I'm going to be saying this, because I haven't meditated on it before. It's just what is coming now. And it's saying there's going to be new different types of stocks and shares that people are going to be looking at. So there's going to be a new form of it that will come in, and possibly during this month, because all of a sudden on the stock market, you're going, oh, well, that's a different company or a new company. There's going to be new investments and that, but I'm not sure that I would still trust it. So even though it's new investments, but maybe I'm just a cynic, and I don't mean to be, but maybe because it's just the way it's making me feel. I feel like I want to look over my shoulder and saying, is this a great investment? And I would say, keep your eyes still on the crypto at this moment in time, and just be careful about swapping one bond for another one, or looking at things in that way. So maybe just keep your eye on the thing that's going to excite you and what will be exciting you during the month of March. So do this and keep an eye on this, and you'll find that even though I'm not a financial advisor, it's just, like I said, it's what gets given to me spiritually, and I hope it's going to fare well for you on this journey this month, and it certainly will. I have great confidence in it. And I have confidence in how I work.
Yeah, I have a handful of coins that I want to ask you quickly. So XRP, I think a while ago you said that XRP will go $10. Do you still see XRP will go $10 this year?
Yes, I think more. As soon as you said 10, then I was going up to 14 and then 18. So maybe this sort of jump and that is going to take it up to 14, and then it'll have a little bit of a quiet period, and then it will jump up to 18. So I think by the end of the year, it could even be up as high as 18.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. My member asked me a handful of questions, so I will ask you. Let me see. How many won is a coin? Do you see that will do well in March?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Oh, there's a coin called Harmony One.
Oh, Harmony. Yes. I like Harmony. Harmony's got a good energy. It's got a really exciting energy. I don't think it's going to be one of the creams or one of the best ones during March, but Harmony suits the whole energy when it comes to April time, because it's very spiritual, and spirit are trying to get balance and harmony. Everything now is about getting balance back in. So it's everybody knowing what it's like to feel wealthiness in their pockets. And so Harmony particularly is going to do well. So yes, I believe Harmony is going to do well in March, but I also think it will do pretty well in April time. And I don't think there's much difference in the profit levels that you're going to get from March and April time. So even though it's an uphill journey, I don't think it's going to get extremely high. I just think it's going to go up nicely. It's giving me that calmness about the journey. So I think the journey in that is going to be really good, but they'll continue on into April time, and the rewards will get stronger during April time, because it's working in conjunction with the atmosphere and the energy that is going on with the planet. It's the way that we're feeling. And I think all this stuff here, all this stuff talking about wars and things like that, it is going to be short term. So everything is going to be about impact. It's about keeping you stressed. It's keeping that agitation, that uncomfortableness, not feeling settled. And the Harmony energy will be working in conjunction with the way that we're calming the world back down. It's about facts, knowledge, and information. All that facts, knowledge, and information is going to build now over the next few weeks. So I think this is all going to be short and sweet, straight to the point. Things are going to be dealt with quickly. And that's why it's going to be more exciting with the crypto world, because it's short, exciting, and gives you something here to get that passion and excitement about.
Then there are some other coins I want to ask you. There's a coin called VRA.
Okay. I just better sometimes if I scribble it down. VRA. Okay, sorry, I do the best I can one-handed. Okay, VR, what would you like to know about it?
Yeah, VRA, they have similar technology like data. So they have streaming video streaming. They have a couple contract with the sport team over Europe. So do you see that they will do well this month and next month?
I would say actually a bit better next month than this month. I don't see them having a disastrous month this month. There are more coins that are not going to do quite as well as this one is going to do. I think they're sort of bursting out now. So they want to get in on all the energy that's going. But actually, and I know I didn't really want to do this today, I actually think that August could even be a much better month for them individually. I think they will stand out and they will shine a lot more. Maybe they've just got things much more together. I'm just trying to sort of squash the energy and pull everything in around them. So I hope they're not trying to spread themselves too thinly now and try to impress too many people all in one go. So it's just sort of keeping it tightly packed in here and saying, let's do what we do brilliantly rather than what we do is just being okay and just good. People get bored with okay and good. They need it to be brilliant. So yeah, we're looking for brilliant. So it's looking for that brilliance now. And I would say that August month could be an absolute outstanding month for them. They really pull things together and I'm feeling very much more comfortable with them during that time. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. Then some other coin that we would like to know, do you know which day or date Shiba will do outstanding, either in March or April?
Well, to be honest, I think I'm not going to put it down to one particular day with that because I don't think it is going to be one particular day. As soon as I get past the 8th and that was Shiba, I thought if I try to then force spirit and get it down to which day they're actually going to earn the biggest profits and that. And I think sooner rather than later. So I'm still going to stick it down to the first couple of days. So I'd be looking at the 10th. Okay, they give me a 1. So the 10th. So I would say around the 10th and that could be a really spectacular date. And that during April time and that could be really good for them. So we've got April that is saying, right, the 10th will be a day that people will be really celebrating. You've got anything here sort of around the 16th, I would say is going to be sort of what I call an open day for everybody in March. But I think Shiba in particular would do quite well from the 18th to the 20th during that time. And I think that's going to be superb times for them. I can't see any what I call drastic days and that for them. I just see Shiba having the time of their life this year. I think all the way through this year, they're going to be saying, even in the most negative months, that Shiba is still going to have and give a little bit of a run for its money. So I think they're going to be chasing the hot spot, the #1 spot. So I think if Bitcoin need to be looking at anybody, they need to be keeping their eye on Shiba, because Shiba's got such massive growth this year. And I mean, really growths now. And they're not anywhere near where they're going to end up this year. And there will be no zeros in front, but there's going to be a lot of zeros and that coming in the future, as I call it, the end. So I think it's going to be one of those coins that are going to be outstanding and really outstanding. So I hope they're going to live up to Spirit's expectation, because they said they've got it there. They've got the gutsiness. They've got the gift of the gab. The energy is definitely going to be working with them. And so particularly, I think this is the beginning of a no turning back time for them. So if they're in, they've got to be in completely, because this is where the energy is going to be running with them. So they're going to be running very fast this year and having a lot of really big profits. Profits that you would only expect Bitcoin to have. They will be having similar type of figures next to their name in the future. And so it is going to be one where everybody's going to be talking about it, and people are going to be trying to get hold of those coins and that in the future, and they are going to be like gold dust.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I have similar vision, but I got my stuff in price prediction, not descriptive like you are. So some coin, let's see. There's a coin called Dent, D-E-N-T.
Right.
You see it will do well in March or April.
Sorry, it takes me longer because I've got sticky paper with the glue on one side, and it's still trying to move around as I'm trying to do it. So, okay. All right, okay, where are we going with this then? Where do I like it? Right, I'm going to actually go with April on this. I like the 28th, 29th, and 30th of March for them. So those last couple of days and that in March, and that is making me feel quite warm, making me feel quite nice about it. Do I feel that I move into April and it's better? Yes, I do. Much smoother. I like the energy that I'm working with during that time. And I do believe that even in the first week, I think in April time, there is some finances. Remember, people have to have projects in mind. So what's their projects? What's their goals? What do they intend? What do they think they're going to hit? So watch your videos and things and that they put out, just talking about the company and the energies. And if they've got big plans and big goals and that, then they're going to reach their targets, not our targets, but their targets as a company, even by the second week in April time. So I think the first week in April time are going to be particularly good for these guys and girls.
Awesome. So the next coin that we are curious to know is Cellframe.
Cellframe. Okay.
Yeah, C-E-L-L-F-R-A-M-E.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely coming home to roost now. So I'm coming back here to March. So I would say after the first week in March, I think this is going to get here. I keep getting very creative stuff here. So tell me a little bit about the energy. Why do I keep getting creative stuff coming in around this? So how long have they been around?
They haven't been around that long, but they have very ambitious projects.
Right. Okay. That's what I want. I want people to have ambitious projects. I want people to see themselves going places now. This is where we need is the perfectionist energy. So we need people and companies and that want to be the best, that want to be out there now. And that's the vibrant energy that is actually going to do quite well. And like I said, I feel like no time like the present. So maybe even over the next few days and that, which are quite trying, that they'll already start going into making a little bit of money. So maybe this is one of those very quick turnaround ones where you can invest in it quickly and it can quickly earn you some monies. So you could even have profit by next week on this. So there could be a little bit of profit coming in already, even in a time where I'm not expecting massive profits this week. Like I said, I'm expecting to see the financial system, everybody biting their nails or getting really nervous about this week. And not because of the cryptocurrency, just because of the ordinary financial systems. People are going to be very scared about their money during that time. So that's what we have to just watch out for. So remember what I said, hold your nerve. Don't do anything out there that is too crazy and don't end up regretting it. So many people I speak to and said, oh, I had that one last week, but I only just got rid of it because it hasn't done too well up until now. Well, just because it hasn't done well up till now doesn't mean to say it's not going to do well in the future. So it's just about here staying calm, holding your nerve, and actually be ready to burst and do things at the proper crypto time when you should do things. Buy things when they're in a wobbly period, and then sell when it gets too big, but give it the opportunity to wait until we start talking some big serious investments, rather than seeing things that are quick, short-lived. So I hope that helps. Anyway, hope it makes it a bit more sensible for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we can end the show today, and then offline I will try to arrange something with you and Lisa, because Lisa cannot attend today. She would like to have a show with you. So thank you for coming on today.
That's absolutely welcome. And I hope everybody keep calm, enjoy the next few weeks. You all will have, and you all have money in your pocket. So remember, that's the aim of the game, and it is a game. That's the aim of the game, to fill your pockets up and to feel successful. So thank you ever so much. And it's an absolute pleasure chatting with you. And I look forward to speaking to you all in a couple of days' time.
Yes, yeah, 1 second.